T.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Your mom is here.
Yeah, and don't she look good?
She looks fabulous. Now, you've got a great relationship.
Yes.
And you always talk about your mom, and you say she's crazy.
She's crazy.
What does that mean?
You know, my mama is unfiltered. And she will make all y'all blush with her, like, raw talks. When I turned 13 years old, my mom put me on a train from LA to San Diego with her so that she can give me the 2.0 birds and bees talk, which made me blush like crazy, but prepared me. So she does these crazy things that in the end make me less crazy.
And I figured if I put her on the train, there was nowhere to run.
That's
There
right.
you go.
That's right.
We have the real discussion. And in the book, we have a chapter, it's called 8 Words to Watch Out For. And she gave me 8 words that a guy will say to, and you gotta
They are
read that.
so true.
Right?
I was like, I'm gonna tell my daughter that. Anyway, Tyra, you were one of the original Victoria's Secret angels.
Yes. Right?
Yeah, and you were the first black supermodel on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Yes.
And it's so amazing because I know to do that, you had to break through a lot of barriers, being a black woman in the modeling industry. What are some of the things that agents would tell you?
Well, so I went to agencies for the first time when I was 15 because I wanted to be a model. And I would get on the bus, go there by myself. I'd show up with my little portfolio. They'd look at it and they go, we already have a black girl.
Oh.
And guess how many models they would have? 200 models. And I look on the board, I'm like, oh, there's that one black girl. So I guess 2 is gonna just create an uprising. We just gonna take over. Yeah, so it was this constant pain of being told no, no, no. Even when I was a supermodel, I heard you can't be on this cover, you can't have this campaign, you can't do this fashion show in the winter because you look better in a swimsuit than a parka. All kind of crazy stuff.
That used to happen to me all the time.
Did it?
Oh, my God.
I think it's hard for moms, right, Carolyn, to have your daughter in this kind of industry. Is that an industry you were comfortable with her going into?
Absolutely not. I had heard so many horror stories about the fashion industry. And I mean, a lot of people think that, you know, I guided her into that field. She was on her way to college, film and television production. And I was excited about my baby going to college. But she had an opportunity to do something outside of what I wanted. And I basically told her, it's your life. It's your life. You make the choice. I'll support you in whatever decision you make.
And it turned out okay.
Turned out fine.
And I ended up going back to school later, so that's all good. Yeah.
You know, Tyra, you're talking about breaking down barriers, and I'm a huge fan of yours, as I think you know. I grew up on Top Model. It's still such an iconic show. Right? I'm so glad it's still on. But, you know, there's a lot of models like Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid that have, like, huge social media followings on Instagram and Twitter. Do you think it's easier for them coming up right now?
I think it's easier. Every generation has it easier. They don't have to, like, go down the street, around the corner, walk 3 blocks to a payphone to call their mama in Paris. They can just FaceTime. I mean, I would have to walk blocks to call my mom and be on the subway forever. There was no Uber, there was no cell phone, none of that. So I get so jealous of them for that. But in terms of like the business side of the reach that they have with social media, I'm obsessed with that. I think that is the best thing because as a model, you feel so beholden to the client. You know, like the client has to hire you to take a good picture. Now you can just wake up and put on some concealer and be like, I woke up like this. No, you didn't. But, you know, and can express yourself in so many different ways. Or like if there's a rumor or a lie, you can like just, you know, say that this is the truth. So I love that they are doing their thing.
Able to do it.
And they're also, supermodels were dying. And like, cause me and Heidi Klum and Kate Moss was kind of the last bastion of that. And then it just, I was like, oh, we're gonna be extinct. We're gonna be like the what was that, elephant? Something just went extinct, an animal. And I'm like, we're gonna be like that.
Rhino.
Yes, the rhino. I was like, the supermodel is going to be extinct. So these girls are like making it like, still live, which is a good thing.
You know what I love about one of the things about the book? I want to go back to sort of your relationship.
Yes.
I have a preteen daughter, and I actually also had a period party for her.
Oh.
I thought it was really important because when I got my period, my mother was like, here, this is what you need. And she didn't want to talk about it, and I wanted to celebrate her becoming a woman.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, my mom threw this party. My parents are divorced. I started my period at my dad's house, and I was terrified. I'm like, Mama, don't tell Daddy, don't tell Daddy, don't tell him, don't tell him, don't tell him.
Yeah.
And she told him. And then she realized how freaked out I was, and she was like, you know what? I'm not going to have her in the dark how you say that you were when you started yours. So she threw this crazy party.
With all the aunties?
Yeah, all my
When I
friends.
was in the 1950s, you know, you didn't even say the word Kotex.
Exactly.
Okay? And I remember seeing my first TV commercial in the late 60s. I was like, they're advertising.
Yeah.
I remember that
On
Kotex,
ABC.
that purple box.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Right here on ABC.
You know,
I remember that
so,
commercial.
yeah, I didn't want, my mom told me when your period started, here's your equipment. You know, I'm not going to go into any whole lot of details, but you're a woman now. And I sat there thinking, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So my mom had this party, and it was amazing. She had this big basket of every different type of tampon, with an applicator, without an applicator. Like, big pads, little pads, penny liners, everything. And then she sat all of my friends down, and she said, there are 3 ways that you can tell a woman is on her period. And this is what you need to avoid: scent, dent, and accident. And you'll have to read the book about what
It's kind of funny watching people's faces when we talk about things like
It's
this.
very uncomfortable.
Everyone's
People
uncomfortable.
are very uncomfortable. But it is it's the most natural thing in the world.
Yes, it is.
You know, and in the old days,
There
weren't, 3 or 4 things you could use. There was one thing.
One thing.
And
Cardboard.
if it had been cardboard, we'd appreciated that. You know, but it was so. It had a little skinny white rubber belt that you put on, which had 2 metal hooks.
Oh, God.
And you had to put it on and figure out, and then you had to, pull it up in the front and pull it up in the back. And by the time you were done, you were walking around like this. You know.
Times have changed so much. And it's so wonderful. Whoopi helped me a lot with my daughter, saying, make it fun,
because you can't be afraid of this, because if you're uncomfortable, they then think there's something wrong with it.
Exactly.
And that's what the party avoids.
Yes.
Well
and then
done, Mom.
my mom was also a teenage mom with my brother, because she didn't even understand what sex was.
I had no idea. Something happened.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I didn't know that could happen.
Yeah.
And I did not want my daughter walking into the dark
And not knowing.
not understanding.
This is a great message. I know, it's a great message for everybody. Talk to your daughters, because they're not going to get it by osmosis. You have to explain it.
And if it makes you blush, keep
That's right.
blushing
Keep
and
blushing.
keep talking.
You got to come
a
back.
lot.
You guys have to come back. You have to come back.
You will.
Our thanks to Tyra Banks and her mom, Carolyn. Members of our audience,